CAADP is an agricultural program, and the best way to link agriculture to nutrition is through diet quality. And so if agriculture is contributing to nutrition, it would be visible in the diet quality of the people. And this is regardless of whether that additional diet diversity has come through economic access from money gained from agricultural activities, or if it is from food that people have grown. So that really was a natural thing to think this is actually the best indicator to actually have.
And how difficult was it to get it into the CAADP program?
It was a lot more difficult than we had expected at first, and one of the reasons is because the people that are working in agriculture were just not designed to think in terms of dietary indicators or nutrition. In fact, they related better to stunting than to diet diversity, because a lot of what you hear on nutrition and usually has to do with undernutrition in relation to stunting of under 5-year-olds. So the dietary indicators were more challenging to bring on board, but by trying to show our colleagues that this was the only direct way of linking nutrition to agriculture, gradually it resonated.
And how do you see the change in the rolling out of the compacts related to CAADP?
It varies. The different countries that are implementing CAADP are in different stages of implementation. So they start with the compact, and then they do the roadmap, and then they do the National Agriculture Investment Plan. I think while a lot of countries will have done the compact, what I have found is they kind of struggle to move from there to get to a realistic investment plan. The compacts themselves, I think, depending on the country, some countries seem to have been more successful than others to rally support from development partners to support the strategy that they're setting out in the compact.
How do you relate diet, African diet, orphan crops, biodiversity, and agribusiness for youth?
For youth. That's a difficult one. Well, the situation is the African orphan crops, I think, are a resource towards better diet quality, and that a lot of these crops are actually more nutrient dense than the maize and other things that we've hung on to, and not given enough chance to the others. So it is an opportunity. Now, in terms of bringing on board the youth can perhaps develop value chains using some of these orphan crops with a nutrition outcome in mind, and I think the younger people are more nutrition conscious than the older people would have been. So perhaps here there are opportunities to develop markets by using the orphan crops. There might also even be opportunities beyond Africa in terms of, you also see in developed countries an interest in new and different types of crops that bring different nutrition components into the diet. So there is a potential opportunity for market there, which young people would be better placed to actually develop.
Last question. The next Tropentag will be in Kassel, Germany, and one of the CG centers getting attention is ICARDA. What are the challenges for the arid zones in Africa related to the same question of orphan crops?
I think the biggest challenge is figuring out how to take opportunity of those orphan crops in those areas. And I'm referring to it as an opportunity because the fact that the crops are growing there implies they are well adapted to those areas, perhaps more so than the things that we are actually trying to push to grow. And so orphan crops really should be looked at in that there might be some genetic resources in there that would be useful for arid areas of Africa, and really they should not be overlooked from that standpoint.